Hi guys, my name is Tanya and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my testimony of how I gave my life to Jesus Christ and what my first encounter with him was like. So basically my first encounter with Jesus was in June 2024 and the second one was in July 2024, during the first week of July. Yeah. And I met him during a time where I was just very depressed and I was down and out. I was feeling hopeless and I was having suicidal thoughts and I was just questioning why life was the way it was and why nothing seemed to be working out even though I was trying very hard, right? And before I get into how it happened and how he spoke to me, I just want to get into who I was before I met Jesus and what I was into. I come from a background of both the worship of God and the worship of ancestors, right? And also at some point in my life, I believed that I had an ancestral calling, right? Because my mom, she had the same calling and I mean, it was inevitable that I would also get the calling, right? And so I called on both God and my ancestors, right? But I was mainly attached to my mom, right? And I would get these dreams about my mom, and people would tell me, you know, your mom's looking over you, you know, your mom's taking care of you, stuff like that, blah, 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 right? Not knowing that it's what you call a familiar spirit. I'm also someone who used to swear at God a lot, and anytime life was not going my way, things didn't go my way, or I was going through a hard time in my life, I would really just get angry at God and I would just swear at him. I would use the F word. I would tell him that I hate him, right? And I believed every lie about God that exists, and I believe that he didn't love me. I believe that he didn't see me, he didn't care about me, and that I was struggling because of those reasons, right? And that he was too weak to get me out of my suffering and too weak to get other people out of their suffering. Like, if he existed, then why do such and such happen? Another practice that I got into was New Age spirituality, and the two main reasons why I got into it was, one, I wanted to be rich, and two, I just wanted to constantly improve myself. I was never happy with the way I was, and I was also trying to heal from a lot of traumas and a lot of deep stuff that I went through. I learned about law of attraction in my early years of varsity and about manifestation. And in about 2020, during COVID, I started seeing what you call synchronicities, mirror hours, and angel numbers, which is how I got into astrology. And when I got into astrology, it broadened my knowledge basically of yoga, meditation, chakras, self-healing. I found out that you can heal past trauma and that it was stored in your hips, right? And you could heal it through yoga and stretching your hips and stuff like that. And I found out also that what you did was never really enough, and so it was just constant self-improvement. And the more I improved, the deeper I got into it, the deeper things I got into. I remember meditations where I would be connecting to Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, and you know, I was asking for money and for lifestyle improvement, right? And one day I discovered a Kundalini meditation. So during my time at Res, but in the year 2021, and it was also during lockdown, right? And so I was going to sleep at that time, right? I was going to bed, and before I would sleep, I would meditate or play affirmations, right? And so I stumbled across that Kundalini meditation video, whatever, right? And before I played it, right, something felt off, right? And I was just like kind of hesitating. Should I play it? Should I not? And I ended up playing it anyways because, I was like, why not? And I was also just chasing and fixing. So I played it, right? And I was laying on my stomach, and during the meditation, I would basically see like a snake, right? And I would see like, yeah, a snake moving, and it was just like very orange, right? And so I paused the video, right? And I read the comments to read the comments. And one of the comments said, oh, I was trying to find out whether this was normal or like, was it just me, right? And so one of the comments said, don't be scared if like a snake feeling like crawls up your spine or back or whatever. It's there to help you and what. And I was just like, weird, but okay, cool, like I need that help or whatever. And so the snake did crawl up my back, and I got very scared, and I immediately paused the video, and I knew I had encountered something that I shouldn't have, right? And I got on my knees and I prayed, and I was like, God, I'm sorry, please get this thing out of my back, right? And so I went to sleep, put my laptop away, and yeah, and so this thing would haunt me, literally, and I would feel it moving up my spine in random moments, and I would get really, really scared, and I just didn't know how to get rid of it, right? I would pray, but I obviously came into agreement with it, so yeah. But luckily, by the grace of God, in April last year, I was able to repent and come out of agreement with it. I was also into listening to subliminals, right? And this was mainly because I was insecure about my looks, and I was just never happy, right? And I didn't believe that I was beautiful. I was always comparing myself to other girls, especially girls on Instagram. So these subliminals that I would listen to would offer to make you look more attractive, to make people like you more, and there was one ridiculous one actually where it said that it could make your boobs grow, right? And clearly mine didn't grow, but like I said, I was insecure, and I just never loved myself fully. I have grown out of that now, and by the grace of God, I have learned to love myself and to accept the parts of me that I cannot change. Okay, so back to June, July 2024, right? I was at home during that time, and I was in my bed, and it was during the morning, right? And I was in my bed, and I was just crying. I was bawling my eyes out, right? And like I said, that I was depressed, right? And I was just crying. I was just asking myself, why is my life so horrible, right? Why are things just not working out for me, right? It just felt like life hated me, right? And there was just a lot of things going on, and I was going through like a deep betrayal, and nothing was like cute. So during my crying session, I heard the audible voice of God, and he said to me, Vuyisa, give your life to me, right? And side note, my first name is Vuyisa, which is what he addressed me as, but I always introduce myself Tanya because that's my preferred name, right? Anyway, so my answer to him was no. I said no. Look at my life with you. It's horrible. my life is horrible, I'm struggling, I'm suffering, I keep praying to you, and you don't answer me, right? And I thought he would reply, but he didn't speak again, right? And so I just continued to cry, right? And then I think it was the next day or a couple of days later, I was just like, like God spoke to me, and I was like, wait, hold on, God, let me get my life together, and then I can give my life to you, right? And during this time, I was not going to church. I went once. I probably went once, and I never went again, right? And so I was trying to get my life together again, even though I saw that nothing was working out, right? And I was just doing the most ridiculous things to get the life that I wanted, right? And again, by the grace of God, he was protecting me, and his hand was over my life, because I don't know where I would have ended up carrying on the way I was doing, right? Okay, so obviously things didn't work out, right? And I don't know why I thought things would improve so quickly and in that short amount of space, right? And so this is the first week of July, right? And I'm back in my bed, back in the morning, crying again, because life is so horrible to me, and again, things are not working out, and I want nothing to do with life, right? And so I heard the audible voice of God, and he says to me, you've tried everything, and nothing's working out. Give your life to me, and things will improve. And so this time, I didn't say no, and I just said, you're lying, I said with a sob, you're lying. And he said, try me. And yeah, then the voice went away, and I said okay. It hasn't been an easy journey, but with grace and mercy, God has helped me a lot during my walk with him, and I've just grown in my knowledge of him, and I've learned a lot about what it is to truly live for Jesus, and what it means to surrender your life to Jesus. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.